Hello, guys, and welcome back to Between the Ropes TV. Now, as we've said, it's a very, very special fight week, and tonight we're going to be looking at Deontay Wilder and Robert Helenius. But avid watchers of this channel know there's only one man who can come and talk to us about Deontay Wilder. So here he is. Scott, it is a pleasure to have you back, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate, and it's a pleasure to be back, and it's a pleasure to be back speaking about my guy. The Bomb Squad Nation is back in full effect. Deontay Wilder. We wondered whether it was going to happen. It is happening. He's coming back, and he's coming back to conquer the heavyweight division. I cannot wait.
So you're excited then, yeah?
Mate, I think everyone should be excited. The farce that we've had in boxing the last couple of weeks, really, you know, I think a lot of people speak about the fact of trying to get new fans into boxing. I think we've got to worry about keeping the fans we've got at the moment. The whole thing that's come out with, you know, obviously the Eubank Jr. Conor Benn fight. We've had the whole Joshua Fury debacle. No one really knows who's to blame there. I think both of them are getting some slack. Obviously, Fury being a bit daft with it on social media. And I just think we just need something to create that highlight reel moment. And I think we've got the man to do it, haven't we, this weekend? Deontay Wilder back in action.
Well, I've got to be honest, it pains me to say it because me and you have had some heated debates about this man, but I have to agree with you. I am glad he's back. It does need somebody to come in and make a statement. And I really like, he's been talking already, I think it was today, or it might have been last night in America, but today I've read it anyway. And he's saying about, you know, with the likes of Joshua, Usyk, it's not if he's fighting these people, it is when. And don't get me wrong, I know it's just words and actions obviously speak louder, but after the farce that we've had the last couple of weeks, I cannot wait. It's just music to my ears to hear someone saying, no, it's when I will be getting these fights. And I'm excited. I mean, Saturday night, we'll get into it a little bit, Scott. Obviously, taking on Robert Helenius, very experienced. You know, he's coming into this with a record of 31-3, 20 stoppages, the one stoppage loss. But they've sparred a lot of rounds together. They are friends behind the scenes. But Helenius is well ranked. He's also, you know, a similar giant. He's a half an inch shorter. Wilder does have a bit of a reach advantage. But I personally think this isn't the easiest of comebacks fights. And respect to Wilder for taking it. How do you see it playing out? And is it a tough fight for Wilder?
I think I agree with you, mate. He could have chose something a lot easier. You do just wonder, obviously, with the years ticking by now, whether he's just thought, I can't just sit and have a bit of an easy win. I've got to at least throw myself into something that is a risk, and hopefully it pays off because, you know, if he does beat Helenius, I think we're already speaking about the big fights. I think we're speaking about maybe a fight between him and Andy Ruiz. I think we're probably looking at that in the US. I reckon he'd want to come over to the UK next, so I really do. I think, you know, it's one of those where you're looking at the opponents available, and I think Deontay Wilder, he sells out Wembley or the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, probably single-handedly. I'd Deontay Wilder, or I'd like a Dillian White or a Joshua or a Usyk to that. We're talking that would do absolute tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of tickets. If there was a stadium that size, it would be one of the biggest fights in boxing history. But we come on to the fight is obviously Saturday. It's not going to be easy for him to get past this challenge, but I don't think Helenius can beat Deontay Wilder. I think the only person that can beat Deontay Wilder is himself, and that's maybe what worries me going into this fight. The emotional trauma he went through with the Fury fights. I think, you know, you look at him, he became a man that in his head was unbeatable. A man that we all thought, well, not all, people like me thought was unstoppable. I thought no one can stop getting knocked out by him. You just wonder, does he now still believe he's, you know, deep down, does he still believe he's still got that ruthless knockout power, especially when you're talking, nearly 5 years since he's last stepped in the ring and knocked someone out because of how long those trilogy fights went on for? That's my only worry.
So, I mean, this is history in the making. I'm actually going to defend Wilder here, purely because I agree with everything you're saying. And that was going to be my next question. Does the mental aspect of that Fury trilogy affect him? And obviously you've answered that. But I always think, particularly with the heavyweights, the punch is the last thing to leave them. So I know I think he's 36 now. But I honestly think it's just God given, that power. It's freakish. You know, there's not, I don't think you can be taught that. I know, you know, we see different trainers getting fighters to sit down on their shots a bit more. But what Deontay Wilder brings, you cannot be taught. It cannot be worked on. You just have it. My only worry is he's been talking about how he's been, you know, working on his boxing ability a little bit more, going back and working on the fundamentals. And I just think, as we saw in the third Fury fight, you couldn't teach an old dog new tricks, could you? He boxed in the first round, and fair play to him, he won the first round, but then reverted back to type. And I just worry, I hope he's not been wasting time in camp working on things that he's going to chuck out the kitchen window within 30 seconds into the fight.
And my immediate fear with that, Joshua, is, are we going to see an Anthony Joshua version 2 here? Someone that feels that, you know, he to be at the very, very, very top, he needs to fight not just a power style, he needs to have the boxing technique as well. And you don't want to see that. I think we've said before, you know, we want to see Joshua do what he does best, and that's just the ruthless knockout power. Wilder, we don't mind him losing rounds, because we know he's got that one bomb shot that's going to just knock someone out. And I think that's the big worry for me. You see, obviously, you know, I think he's always believed, he's always got that in the bag, always got it. What's going to happen when maybe he could be 2 rounds down by, like, let's say round 8? Is he going to still have that faith and belief in himself deep down to pull out the big time like he did with the likes of Ortiz? And I think that's where my worry lies for him. And I'm hoping he comes through with shining colours, but that is a bit of a worry for me.
No, I would agree, because Helenius, let's not forget, he's on a 3-fight win streak, back-to-back wins over Adam Kovnacki. He's well ranked now, and as you rightfully alluded to earlier, there was talk with the WBC of this being a semi-final. Winner takes Ruiz to be the next mandatory. And I hope he doesn't go through that, because I know Tyson Fury sort of spoke about potentially a fourth Wilder fight. I wouldn't want to see it. I want to see Wilder, you know, at this point, forget about the belts. Same with Anthony Joshua. You've been there, done that. And no disrespect to the belts, and I know the pinnacle of boxing is to become a world champion. But for me, they're both at a point in their career. If you tell me Anthony Joshua is fighting Deontay Wilder at Wembley Stadium next year, I'm going to buy a ticket whether you tell me there's a belt on the line or not, because they're almost bigger than it. And so why pay the sanctioning fees? You know, they're all in it to get paid. Forget the belts, get the fights on. And that would be my message to Deontay Wilder. We'll wrap it up, Scott. I'm going to push you for a prediction. I think I know what it's going to be. So I'm even going to ask you for a round if it's a stoppage win you're predicting.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to back Deontay. I really am. I'm going to be absolutely gutted if he doesn't pull it off. It'd be a sad way to see him go. I think we need to see him come back, earn a legacy. As you say, Josh, it's not about the belts. It's about legacy now for him. He's already had the belts. And I think that's why, as you also said, the 4th fight with Fury wouldn't make sense unless he goes through everyone else. And by then they're still fighting, which I don't think Fury would be by then. But for me, you know, I do think he's going to win by knockout. I'm going to go for about round 7. I'm going to say round 7. I think I'm really excited. As you say, there's a lot. He's been doing a lot in camp. It'll be interesting to see. You know, we kind of rubbished the fact of Fury, you know, what he came in with against Fury in the 3rd fight. But that's against Fury. One of a kind. Are we actually going to see a lot of good boxing ability from Wilder? But I think not just us two, everyone obviously watching this as well will agree. As much as we'd like to see his boxing, we're all paying and we're all going to watch that fight for him to hit one of his bombs and then shout bomb squad. That's what we're all paying for, and please let it happen.
Yeah, I'm paying for the Deontay Wilder knockout. I could do without the bomb squad. I've got to be honest. I absolutely hate that goddamn saying. But there you go, guys. Scott, thanks for joining us, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you back, and you're welcome anytime.
Cheers, mate. I will definitely be back again.
Cheers, guys. Join us on the next one.